in the other room.
We're all good. I'll read it out. So we are live on YouTube. Everyone, welcome. This is our Abundance Book Club live. We talk about abundance. We talk about self-worth. We talk about money, but we actually talk about all the things that our abundance touches that we get to be abundant in our life, whether it's health, wealth, love, joy, all of it. So we are reading the book, Creating Money, Attracting Abundance. Creating Money, Attracting Abundance. I've said it so many times, but still I want to mix the words up. Holly is with me today. Welcome, Holly. Thank you for joining me.
Hello.
And
I get to join. Yeah, I was gonna say I get to join you from Costa Rica today, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah, so Holly is on a retreat in Costa Rica. She's on day 3. She's just sharing with me some of the amazing things that you've gotten to do. Zip lining upside down was what we were just talking about right before I hit the live button. I was like, oh, it's time. Middle of conversation. Here we come. Zip lining upside down and enjoying hot volcanic springs.
Like natural, volcanic hot springs. So the water is literally heated by a volcano. Like, how cool is that?
So amazing. Sounds so luxurious.
I adore that I have a life that I get to do these things. I think it's just phenomenal that I get to do that. And it was so funny, like this morning in my shower, that was my realization. That was my come to, was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm doing these things. Like I'm actually doing these things. It was so cool that it was like, I realized that that's not just a wish life anymore. I'm actually doing it. So that's so cool.
Yeah. And I just want to pause us there for a moment for everyone that's watching, because we have this idea, like the grand vision that we're heading to. And when we get there, we'll have arrived.
Right.
And there's so many times along the journey that we've created such amazing experiences for ourselves. And so much location freedom is a big one. Well, location freedom can look like you travel everywhere and work from everywhere, but it can also look like, hey, I am working and I am learning and I'm in Costa Rica. Mm-hmm. And there's other parts of your life that you're still working towards your big goal, but you're still able to enjoy the experience along the way and creating what it is that you are here to create. And so I just want everybody hearing that to pause in your life and look back. Notice the distance that you've come. Notice what you've created now. Notice what you get to enjoy. Allow yourself to really enjoy it while you're walking the path towards everything else you're creating.
And win-win. I mean, I'm on a retreat, so I'm learning things and taking the time and the space to create bigger, right? Like that's actually going to step me forward, like catapult me forward, really, into the things that I am creating, what I do want to create. So I think it's also a really beautiful moment for that too.
Yeah, the integration of what we're creating and enjoying it along the way. Yeah, so delicious. All right, everyone watching, I've never asked this. If you are watching this and you're loving it, subscribe so that you get notifications when we go live. I know I've never said that.
How have you never said that?
Comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on what comes up for you in this conversation. And we're going to dive into the book. So if you're reading along with us, it is on page 120. And it is towards the bottom. So I expect only the best to happen, and it does. Trust is the word that we're going to be speaking into. Expecting the best to happen, believing in your ability to create what you want, knowing that you deserve it, and then believing in something even when the outer world seems to reflect something else. After our live yesterday in the Zoom room, we were talking about this. This came up. It's amazing how each of these topics kind of so much ties into other ones. And we were talking about how our eyes, we want to believe what our eyes are telling us. Well, this is what is.
Right.
And although this might be the experience that we have in the moment, it is important. What we're creating is, it's imminent that we trust that is also true, that is also in the works and happening. And we're not just in what we see, but trust in our future, trust in our capability to create it, trust in the universe and God to show up for us, the people around us, all the things that are going to come together and create that. What comes up
And
for you
not-
in your trust, Holly?
Yeah, and not just for someone else either, right? Like, how many times have we looked at other people and went, well, that must be nice. Or how many times have we looked at other people and like, oh, I want to live like that, but we don't really believe that we are capable of having that, right? Like, I will be quite honest, 5 years ago, I never thought I'd be sitting in Costa Rica. Never would in a million years would have thought I could have actually made it to Costa Rica. It was that must be nice moment, right?
Yeah.
And
you
here
know,
I am because I did step into that belief. I did step into that. Yes, I can create that. Yes, I can go with that. And I am surrounding myself with the people who feed that, right? Who feed that vision for me too, who really support that vision and honestly created the possibility for this to happen, right? I couldn't have, not that I couldn't have, but it would have been probably less likely had I not been with this group of women, had I not joined this retreat. Like, me doing it by myself would have felt really overwhelming and really crazy. But now that I'm here, I'm like, I want to bring my son. I want to do this again. Like, he would love that river tubing experience. It was awesome. So I'm just like, that is something that I think now it's like I get to create it and it becomes so much easier because I've already been here once with someone else who had that vision, who had that creation and supported me in being able to live it.
Yeah, support's a big
beautiful
piece. Absolutely. Allowing ourselves to be supported, realizing that if we are trying to do it alone, we're making it very hard on ourselves and pushing our vision out further. So when we're in, it must be nice, right? It must be nice is a feeling of maybe jealousy, or there's sometimes resentment there. And a couple of things that happen with that energy is we are pushing others away instead of bringing it into our space. But the more important thing to me about that is if we are in jealousy or resentment, there's a deeper belief that we can't have it.
Yeah.
Because why would I be jealous of you if I can have it? I'd be excited for you, right? So jealousy is an indicator of what is underneath in the belief system that's underneath. And so even if you're in that belief system, you can shift into appreciation because that person is a indication that it's possible. Yeah. So allowing that person to be an indication for you that it's possible for you, for anyone that might be dealing with that. And then just a notice moment of, wow, why do I believe that? Why would I be telling myself that story that that's not possible for me? And maybe it doesn't feel like it's possible. Maybe the circumstances feel stacked against you. You're believing what you see with your eyes in this moment versus trusting the future. And there's so many reasons that we do that, but it's just a great, powerful notice moment of like, ooh, okay, that little twinge of jealousy came up within me. So what is it that's underneath that? What is the belief that I'm holding on to that will actually hold me back and I'm ready to let go of?
Right. So. And not only that, but like this also ties into the support, right? Like I said, that having that support, well, believing that God and the universe is putting together all the pieces for you to have the experience that you want to have. And knowing that, I couldn't have done that without, and not that I couldn't have, but that I probably would not have done that without this support system, right? Like that support came in and I received the guidance that I needed to have to say yes to this program, to say yes to this coach, to say yes to this experience, to say yes to whatever it was, all of the steps that took me to get me here, right? And it's just one more yes, one more yes. One more yes, one more. Okay, I'm going to step out on that limb just a little bit further. And this is the experience I get to create in my life. And I know it's coming. I know it's coming, right? And it's that knowing that it's coming that really fuels you and feeds you, right? And you listen to anybody who's been a big entrepreneur and successful person, they all had people in their lives that resisted their thoughts and their dreams whenever they were first telling them, right? Like nobody believed, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And then here it is. Like,
yeah, that's
the Wright brothers flying didn't happen, right?
Yeah, that's a really great point. We can really serve our hearts and our souls if we are not telling our vision to naysayers, to people who don't have their own dream that they're going after. And nothing no judgment on that, but it doesn't serve our forward movement.
Right.
Imagine trying to go somewhere that you've never been before and you're walking the journey and someone beside you is saying, just stop, just sit down. You're tired as it is. You don't need somebody telling you to sit down. You need those people that are walking with you going, come on, you got this. Next step, next step.
And here's your next step. And here's your blind spot that you're not seeing that's keeping you from taking that next step. Like being able to have that support is so priceless. It's so valuable because you don't know what you don't know, right? Like you don't realize that, okay, this
We only
is what's
know
really
what we know.
bad.
Like I know what I've known up until now, and without others around me that are sharing what they've learned, and also vice versa, that I'm also giving back into them for what I've learned. Yeah, we wouldn't be, none of us would be going anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Next page that we get to look at is page 123, if you're following along with us. And again, this one's towards the top. When you are on the right path, doors open, people appear, coincidences happen. When you are not on your path or pursuing your higher purpose, it may seem as if you are walking through glue or that nothing is working. It goes into that whole page sharing how obstacles will come up and that we basically get to decide, is this obstacle here to shift my path so that I do things a little differently? Or is it here to teach me something that I get to grow through so that I can serve what I'm up to at a bigger level? So I'll just read the beginning of that again. When you are on your right path, doors open, people appear, coincidences happen. Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. So I actually have a fun story about this. It just happened yesterday. It was perfect, absolutely perfect for this. And everything that you brought up is just like, oh, this is everything I'm going through right now.
The universe is
Kismet,
working,
right? It's always perfect. It's always kismet. No, so yesterday we went to the ocean and there was this tree off on the beach that I really wanted to go see. For whatever reason, I wanted to go see it. And so it was just like, it hit my gut. I need to go to get to that tree. So I start swimming to the tree and the water is pushing me the other direction. Man, I'm like, I swim harder to get to that tree. I float on my back. There's literally a cloud in the sky that is an arrow pointing to the shore. Okay, pointing to the shore. I ignore it and I keep swimming to this tree. Okay, like keep swimming over toward this tree. And finally, I get to the point where I'm tired, but the is shallow enough that I can stop and I can walk. And I take 3 steps and stepped on a sea urchin.
Oh, wow.
Which sent me out of the water. Okay.
You're like, okay, I'm out of the water.
I'm out of the water. And it followed. And truthfully, where did I go? In the direction that the cloud told me to go, right? Back to shore where I was supposed to go. And I was like, okay, so what did I do there? Like my intuition told me I needed to go to see this tree. But all of the signs around me said, there's a different way. There's a different way. And the way you're taking is the hard way. And we're going to resist you all the way there. And you're still being bullheaded about it and still trying to go your way. Like, pay attention, idiot. This is the way we need you to go. Like legit, awesome. Like cloud in the sky, big fat arrow, still ignored it. Why?
That is so funny.
So yeah, I mean, it's like, here's your way. Your path was to actually walk to the tree, not swim to the tree. But now that you have ignored us so much, we're going to make it so painful that you can't get there anyway.
Well, and who knows what the guides, what your guiding systems were pointing you in that direction for. Maybe it was to avoid the sea urchin in the first place. I've heard people say, if you're behind somebody slow, instead of getting frustrated, be grateful. They might be keeping you from, a collision. So, whatever it is, those obstacles that get in the way, that frustrate us, are there for a reason. We're either learning something or we're being guided somewhere. And as we become more and more equipped, more and more experienced at listening to those things, we can start to navigate them more quickly. But yeah, they definitely can make us feel like, am I on the right path? Am I heading in the direction that I'm meant to? And so maybe sometimes not, sometimes, it's just there to teach us and to support us in actually getting where we're going in the most efficient and the most powerful way.
Yes. And so, yeah, I had set my intention to up level and honor my intuition. And I was honoring the intuition. I just wasn't paying attention to the guidance that I was getting to
Yes.
go where I actually wanted to go, right?
Yeah.
Like, hello, there are neon signs literally telling you which way to go, and you ignore them. So it's like
so
that's
good.
another big lesson right there of going, okay, like I get to pay attention to or how I'm being directed, how I'm being guided.
Yeah,
And not just bulldoze through it.
that's one of the things that we talk about quite a bit, right? Is like get clear on the vision, get clear on what it is that you're here for and what you're up to. You have guests that might come through your background, just totally
Yes.
perfect. So no worries.
Originally, I was planning to be outside and there wasn't going to be anyone in the way, but it was so bright you couldn't see the ocean, so it wasn't really fair.
Yeah, we just had like white behind you, so no, it's perfect. But one of the things we talk about is have the vision, like hold the vision and develop the vision and cultivate it and walk towards it. But it's really important that we don't get attached to how we get there.
Yes.
Because when we do, we block what's possible. We block the ability to move towards it quickly. We block maybe doing something really fun that would get us there. Collaborations, all kinds of things when we try to control how we get there.
Yes.
So
it's creating like trying to lone wolf it, trying to do it all by yourself. You could create community. It could have been a whole trip, but it didn't work out that way because I tried to lone wolf it and do it my way. Right.
Yeah.
And not pay attention to the guidance that was being given.
Yeah. Yeah. And we get to remember that, the way the universe is designed, thinking about an acorn, right? The acorn gets planted or doesn't even get planted. The acorn gets into the ground various ways. Even those hows are different, right? Because whether it's rain or whether it's a squirrel or whatever it is that gets the acorn in the ground, there's natural things that ebb and flow with the way that tree grows, but it's not being forced. It is in flow. It is in the the rainfall and the sunshine and the other trees around it, and even the trees that we've learned over the last couple of years that trees give to each other, that community, right, that creates that. And so it is built into the way that the universe works. And I believe that God created the universe. If you believe the universe is running itself totally, I'm not attached to how a person sees that, but like, let's be real that we can pause and look around us at the way that the world works, the way that the universe works, and see the flow and the way that things work together to create things that are just astounding.
Yes.
And why do we think that we need to be like the lonely one controlling the path and forcing and pushing versus allowing ourselves to get clear on the vision? It's what's been placed in our heart. It is our calling. Hold that space and just take the next step and understand that the obstacles are there to ebb and flow us into what it is that we're here for.
Just swoop us into the path that we're supposed to be on in the first place. That's
a little bit over this way, a little bit over that way. Yeah, it's so beautiful. It really is. But it really is that trust that we were talking about at the beginning that allows us to walk that path. Because when we are walking the path, there's a lot of it that's like, for me, where it's like, okay, I don't really know how to get there. And, I take a step that doesn't work, or there's an obstacle. And then, I question the obstacle. And then part of my brain used to question the path, question the goal and the vision. And
like, is this really what I want? I don't know. Like, is that really what I want?
Really what I'm supposed
really
to do?
hard. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this, right?
So trust is so, so important. Absolutely. So we talked about trust, we talked about community, and we talked about listening to the signs, the obstacles that seem to be trying to stop us, but they're really not. They're guiding us towards our path, our unique path. Awesome. Well, Holly, I know that you have an amazing retreat to get onto today, so we will let you go. Thank you so much for being the example and being the permission of what it means to choose the things that we get to enjoy in life and walking in that direction and coming on with us, even though you're in Costa Rica. And I know it wasn't easy for you to, find a little quiet spot to get on here and, carve out a little time to be here. So thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you. Yes, and I am cutting electronics, being completely present. Yes, for the rest of this trip as much as possible. I'll still get a phone call into my son, but got to check in on the kiddo. But yeah, everything else, yes, it's about being here and being fully present and being in community with these amazing gals. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We'll say goodbye to YouTube. So everyone watching, thank you so much for being here. You can join us again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. It is Monday through Friday. And like I said, subscribe if you want to get notifications and join us regularly. We